guys, Flark again. And I'm bringing you episode 2 of Coach Flarkness. Do you like the name? Me too. So, for everybody who didn't get the spiel last time, I'll sum it up real quick. Taking weekly submissions, gonna pump 2 or 3 out of these a week. It's just gameplay review, going over what went right, what went wrong, giving as much information about how games are being won or lost as I can, and seeing it all for the first time, and reacting essentially accordingly. Again, if you need to know more, just go watch the first episode. But really, if I were to stress anything, everybody feel free to send in submissions. We still have tons. I've got plenty for the next few weeks or so, but I like being able to pick and choose so I can have a diversity of content. So to all the people who say, you wouldn't like that, I just lost a bunch of games, or it's low MMR, or whatever, you're wrong. Idiot. Send me the clip. Thank you. So anyway, let's get into episode 2. This time we've got a Frost DK, like I said, diversity. And we're playing 3s. At about 2k MMR again. Though I think this is EU. I'm not sure. I don't know. How can I tell? I can never tell. I don't know. It's something. It's around 1950 to 2k MMR in 3s. I skipped to the end of the video to check it again. So we'll go through these and see how everything works. I got a whole Google Doc of them, so it's called Videos for Flark. Pretty great. So let's do this. I think it's another no voice. People don't like comms, I guess. Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that what's that? What's that doing there, man? I guess you were expecting me to read this aloud. That's why you left it in. That's fine. I can do that. Alexander doesn't waste time. Without hesitation, he attempts to turn himself of 360 degrees, pointing his sword forward. The speed reached should empowers the eventual strike. Then the sword should crush against the left side of the foe. Specifically, the left. Good RPing, man. Let's see how the gameplay goes. It's like they're going mage, typing in party chat. Why is he purple? Those Demon Hunter colors. Alright, so he gets kiddied right in the beginning. Ooh, and kind of dumpstered in that. So right off, there's the para onto the mage you can see. It looks like the pause quality is really bad. Hold on, let's see if I can clean that up at all. Sometimes it messes around. Nope. Yeah, I'll just try and keep it around here. Is that good enough quality to see? Ugh, I'm not sure. But that's fine. We can still see stuff on the screen. So in that first kidney, he got a little rocked. I think he's running Lichborn here. So we can see on his binds. That's generally good to throw out on every kidney. You can pretty much do it on every kidney that has any damage associated with it. So when he's got Toxic Blade and Full Energy Bar. It doesn't just have to be Vendetta kidneys. But that's pretty powerful to use actively. And it looks like you got rocked in that opener. So that's probably a good backup to what I'm saying here. But that said, it's situational. In that case, hindsight's probably 20/20, but it did look like that was a rough opener to give them all of that pressure. Now we got a mind control going out of the monk and a pair on the mage. I think he'll try and do a go here. Quality's probably fine. Looks like you got the kick. Here's their go. So that was a perfect setup for that, and they're going to get the triple sweep here. So just the grip into blind is really, really good enabler for setups, right? Because they're no voice, which means they can't immediately grip sweep. and 2, it stops anything that the other team wants to do. Like if you had gotten the rogue in that blind, then the rogue couldn't sprint out of the chill streak or the leg sweep in time. Of course, the blind on the mage will stop temp or blink from being pressed before they do their go. It's just a really good enabler. Now they can do a few setup globals, press sweep, and go. So that was awesome, especially with no voice. It's really awesome to get the grip blind here. And clearly they're going to get a triple sweep right as soon as I unpause this. So there's that. Looks like somehow there must have been one frame. Look at this. The guy was spamming temp. There must have been one frame where the mage was between blind and sweep, because he definitely got that off, which is going to completely diffuse this go. There's nothing he could have done about that, I don't think. That was just a really, really unfortunate timing thing. It must have broke the blind a millisecond before that sweep came in. So now this go's probably going to do nothing. Maybe, yeah, he's going to top him. So right there, the temp tops himself and full heals him. But it was a really good go nonetheless. That was the right setup. Hopefully they got a CD out of them somewhere. His UI is making it a little difficult for me to see what people have, but it looks like the priest trinketed. So yeah, they get priest trinket and they can do a go again. From one thing that I've noticed, it looks like he's not running delirium, which may have been a misplay. But hard stop delirium is the play against mage. It is absolutely required, and looks like he doesn't have that right now. Make sure to keep Frost Fever on everybody. That's good. He's got enough corruption for the ring, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So they're just going to sit on mage the whole beginning of this game. It's really good if you have multiple stops, which you do as Windwalker DK, to just try not to overlap, which is hard without voice, and kick everything, which is easier without voice. So it looks like it will take a little while for me to determine their kick patterns if they had anything planned, but you know, kicking fire and poly are both kind of valuable. You can shut down a mage, especially with hard stop delirium. You're shutting out a mage out of almost everything he does. Unfortunately, like I said, he doesn't have delirium here, but he does have a mind flight tentacle going to work. It's a really great job keeping chains on the mage. There's no pally. RM Pal is the more popular version on ladder, and this is a priest. So mage has really nothing he can do to get out of chains. He can keep that on all 3, honestly, and it stops them from getting free CC or for the rogue to get away. But really good that he's keeping it on the mage most of the game. Again, hard stop, delirium with apt kicks and good goes and chains of ice keeps a mage from literally moving at all. And if this is post blazing barrier nerf, that's gonna take a lot of pressure that a priest who goes quickly will have to heal through. He also has no trinket, so good job just finding the right target. And there's that bomb, which he's gonna get out of for free. So that was a misplay on the rogue's part. That was an awful ring. So right here, this is a combination, unfortunately, of the Mistweaver and the DK working to put themselves in bad of a place as possible, right? So they ringed for no reason. The DK was long out of that bomb. He just literally walked his character out of it. Generally, I guess you would ring the bomb to try and keep pressure off of him during that. But you know, he didn't do that here. He did it in a very bad spot. It knocked the rogue and the mage LOS, and then the DK chased them LOS, which, as you can see by his dwindling health pool, was probably not the play, especially since, as we can see by the bottom of his screen, which is where he keeps his Omni, Vendetta and Combust were popped. I can tell he is running zone. It should have been pressed right in that bomb, right as soon as he dropped out of it, and the mage and the rogue were here. But even then, that would have been bad synergy with his Mistweaver because of the lack of voice, because the Mistweaver ringed him. So just an unfortunate play there. But yeah, definitely zoned the beginning of Combust Vendetta. I think it's coming down now. It looks like it's literally, the purple bubble is coming up right now. So it's just a little late. But he should be able to stabilize if he gets it on himself and press Death Strike here. But yeah, just an unfortunate. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, yeah, very late. And that put him really far behind. Not even going to be able to stabilize. The rogue evasioned right here, so he really needs to pull the mage in. he's on a global, right? It's not on cooldown yet. He needs to pull the mage in and start death striking off of the mage, or he really could die. He cannot heal off of the rogue right now. Again, that lack of delirium is giving this mage way more outs than he should have. So that's why he's able to kite here, and why the death strike is, or the DK doesn't have a good death strike target. You can see the evasions popped there. So yeah, falling pretty far behind from that situation, that series of events, so to speak. The bomb that he walked out of, but then the late zone into the bad ring, into the follow him LOS, into the mage getting away, and the rogue throwing a death strike into the evasion rogue. It's just putting him really far behind. So right now he needs to grip mage, which maybe stops the go from them if the Windwalker doesn't have sweep up, because he doesn't have blind to set it up, and they're not in voice. So just falling a little far behind here. There's a kick on the poly. Didn't grip. Wow, falling really far behind. Does he stay alive here? Monk should have bubble still. There it is. Oh, and he overlaps the AMS. Yeah, so this is a very panic situation. I don't think it's over, because once a DK stabilizes, even though it looks bad, once a DK stabilizes, this guy's got like 500k shields on him right now with AMS and bubble overlapped. Once a DK stabilizes, though, against Rogue Mage, I mean, you counter it so hard. There's the Maledict as well. That you can turn the game around at any time, especially against Priest, who goes so fast to your raw pressure. But yeah, that was just an example of how making a series of unfortunate or questionable decisions, or not having perfect synergy with your healer, can spiral into disaster. Because right, they were pretty far ahead. They had AMS coming back up. They had Zone for Kidney Combust Vendetta, and they had Bubble. And they had Bubble. I didn't say that. So that is so many tools for their Kidney Combust go, but because they were used late and they moved line, they had to kind of overlap absolutely everything, and they're still in a bad position. They didn't actually get counter pressure. If you zone early there, you can probably save Bubble and AMS, and use AMS for applying pressure and staying aggressive, and keep Bubble the whole time. So that's the snowball mechanic of threes. Should be able to live here. Again, he's got like 2 bajillion health in this Bubble. And there he is. Stable. Stable as can be. So they're going to want to do a go here. There's the grip. Misses the blind, but the pair was on the priest anyway, so it doesn't matter. This mage is probably going to trinket the sweep and blink, which is what happened. So now it doesn't look like there's anywhere else for this to bounce. The rogue is kind of out of commission. But they're getting trinkets, and they're staying alive. And sometimes staying alive is a win condition, because like I've said 5 times, priest mana dwindles. So unfortunately for the rogue mage priest, they get countered so hard by this matchup that even if the rogue or the Windwalker DK doesn't get a lot of goes, staying alive is essentially a free win condition, because the priest will and he can't go for a drink when Windwalker DK is on your mage the whole game. It's just not very viable, especially since he doesn't have mobility to get that drink quickly. So doing goes is just a way to get their trinkets and make them play defensive and run away from you, is also good, because it's like you're on a timer to win the game, and it's ticking down that timer. So another good go. Their grip, blind, sweep synergy for no voice, like I said, has been pretty good. Whew! Big hits. That's caught and probably blocked. So great job. They got the trinket out of the mage, but because the chill streak was probably on its way over, maybe something out of the Windwalker, they still were able to get caught blocks. So this is looking really good. They're in an advantageous situation. Now just keep chains on the rogue, play very defensive, keep Howling Blast on all 3. Frost Fever uptime is really important. So having it on the priest, who you do grip goes to, and having it on the mage now that he came out of block, but that's reasonable. He just came out of block. It's just it's a good thing to remember. You should always have it on all 3. It's a huge portion of your damage, and if the priest is rotting at all, when he gets grip sweeped in, they both die and it's over. So just remember to keep that Howling Blast, especially look at his health bar. This guy should have a Frost Fever on him for sure. So I would just, right here, it's almost an unlosable situation. You're so far ahead against this with the mana pool and trinket situation the way it is. I think the next grip go is probably going to win. So you got to play really defensive. Rogue has no evasion. As we can see down here, it's up in a minute, so you can just death strike on anything, stay alive, chains rogue, and run to the mage, chains mage. Just keep them disrupted. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. You should win. There's the para on the mage. Chains here is important. You can always chains in a para, right? Because it doesn't break the para, and you can just immediately get to them and start applying pressure. There's the kick on the poly. Unfortunate play from the Windwalker. Sweeps one when they're both coming here. I think he was okay, but it's kind of hard to tell. Again, because of his UI, I don't really know what his partners have. I don't know if they have Trinket Bubble available right now. I'm assuming he does have Bubble. It feels like the game's gone wild, but that's because I've paused 100 times. So yeah, this is the time to sweep right here. Spamming Death Strike every global pretty much just as a way to stabilize. He's got this AMS coming back up in 8 seconds, and again, I think Monk has Bubble, so they should be able to stabilize no problem here. Zone's up in 46 for that Kidney Combust that's coming as well. His movement pattern makes me dizzy. It's weird watching him circle around in circles. Chains on the Mage and Rogue. Uptime on that should be a little higher. He pre-bubbled that CC, it looks like. Grip line's ready. Neato. I guess they're going to do that. That's probably a kill then, right? This go should kill. Sweep goes off here. Yeah, the Mage is dead. So great. That's a perfect representation of the go at the end. I'm glad we got that in so I can talk about that. Priest no trinket, Mage no trinket. I called out 40 seconds ago or whatever that this game was over on the next grip sweep, and it was. It was a perfect go-to. This time it's actually better that the Rogue is not in here because the Priest and the Mage are probably the best kill targets in this situation. Rogue has his cloak back up, so you don't want him to cloak the Chill Streak. I'm not sure if he did that intentionally, but it's a really good talking point. Not waiting for the Rogue to come in was ideally 100% unequivocally the best play. If Rogue cloaks the Chill Streak, it stops, and there's no reason to get 3 people in it too when neither of these guys have Trinket anyway. So, again, not sure if it was intentional, but flawless play here. Being able to grip the Priest to the Mage for just the double Chill Streak, get that blind to get the setup global. You could see that there was like 2 seconds before the sweep came in. That's so perfect. Just guarantees a perfect go for them right on top of each other. Neither had Trinket. Chill Streak, then while the Chill Streak was bouncing, Blood of the Enemy just pulverized them. It's the exact combination of abilities, too. Again, you press the Chill Streak, then while the Chill Streak is bouncing back and forth between Priest and Mage, you get that Blood of the Enemy down. That is so much damage. All of your setup globals and your pressure globals are already going. So once Blood of the Enemy hits, it buffs all your damage and hits like a train itself, and it's just a killing blow. If they had like 200k more health each, they still probably would have died. That's how fucked they were. The sweep is still got a full second and a half or so left when the Mage died, because I paused it a little late. Maybe even longer, honestly. Maybe like 2 seconds when the Mage died. Which means that was going to bounce 2 more times with Blood of the Enemy active. Again, they were going to take another 200,000 damage. It was a perfect setup. Really good that the Rogue wasn't in it, and just great play. It got a little shaky toward the middle, and very panic-inducing. I can't really blame him from the AMS bubble overlap because they're not in voice, and that was a situation where he was dwindling down to 1% health. Again, staying alive is a win condition against this, so it's a good thing he took the W instead of flopping there and risking it. So just a good game here, and we'll move to the next one. Good shit, man. All right. Oh, is the quality so much better? Quality looks so much better. Maybe I can't tell. Maybe it's movement that... let me switch it back and forth sometimes. That... Did I just fuck it? Why didn't it go back? Help! Help me! It's probably the same. Gripping Pal. Going Mage. Alright, yeah, so this is RM Pala. I don't think I've actually seen this comp on ladder before. This one must be new. Again, Heartstop Delirium's the play. I don't know if this is the next game or... Because I'm just have a folder of videos here. So... AMC on Combust, yeah, right on it. That would be good. But if he doesn't have Delirium still, that's going to be a huge problem against RM Pala. You really want that. Because he's already got so much mobility with Freedom, he can't also have blinks every time you get to him. Totally winnable still. It's always winnable. You're Windwalker DK. Okay, so that Rogue just trinketed a para. Has nothing to do with DK gameplay, but I just wanted everybody to notice that this Rogue just trinketed a para. So this guy's awful. Not only did he trinket a para, he trinketed the first para. So it's not like he's like, oh my god, I have pressure, I can kill right here. He was like, oh my god, I hate sitting things. I can trinket right here. So that seems like some play that I would make on my rogue too. That's a Flark rogue play. Yeah, not the correct call if you're trying to push ladder as rogue though. This rogue could get punished all game. Again, they could probably do setups to the rogue, grip sweep to the rogue, and he would die in like one or two of them. I'm not sure if they're going to recognize that immediately, but going mage is still safe, even when the rogue doesn't have trinket, because if the rogue is on you and you're on the mage, then you sweep all three and the rogue never gets out of any of them and he's just getting rocked by cleave. That said, if they run at the Mistweaver all game, which it kind of looks like, is that his Windwalker sapped and he's polyed? They might be doing a huge go on the healer here, which is why he hastily trinketed a 3-second CC in the beginning of the game. RM Pala players, by the way. I think it might still be better to do grip goes to the rogue, because you don't get it on the mage and the rogue together if they're just running at the Mistweaver. So let's see how they play it anyway. Quick aside there. So there's the double sweep here while he was in a poly. Oh, he's doing it to peel. Oh my god, AMZ bubble everything. Was that AMZ a little late? Yes. 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 So right on the kidney it looks like he busted. So you'd want to trinket this Polygon zone. Like he said himself in party chat, you want to AMZ on combust, which is not what happened here. So they had to overlap every single CD in the game, and it looks like he had to trinket anyway, and they had to blow their sweep in the beginning on nothing. So they get no pressure in the opener. Don't stop really anything the Rogue Mage is doing, even though he trinketed the pair in the beginning. Just a really unfortunate opener for them. So the Rogue Mage opener is, though, the most absurd thing. They have so many tools to get it off. The bop, sack to stay aggressive, freedom to stay aggressive. They both have their trinkets that they can throw out willy-nilly. So it is very panic-inducing. So no problems, but clearly a mistake here. So yeah, you can see that sweep was wasted. Now the zone comes out, but Combust is already 13 seconds in. It's about to end here. And the Mistweaver is looking like he wants to kite anyway, but he'll stay in the zone. So that's a big overlap, the bubble zone, and trinket, everything. So unfortunate. Another looking at the Rogue. The Windwalker said, Starry, I stunned in party chat. Mistweaver stun, please. This is a train wreck. So yeah, just the no voice is a little bit of a problem here, especially when they're running down your healer. The clear play now is, because you're so far behind, you have no bubble and no zone, and he still has Kidney Vendetta up, is to just sit on the Rogue with no trinket and do grip goes from the Pally to the Rogue and sweep both. But they're not going to really be able to line that up, and it's going to be hard for them to swap no voice. So, and he's not running Delirium. So this is unfortunate, yeah. They won't be able to peel the mage as well as he could. But as long as you can keep him away. It looks like that Mind Flay's taken... Oh, is he dead here? Look at this. Look, so Mistweaver's health bar, again, a little blurry, but this is the problem, right? There's that Vendetta popped. They have absolutely nothing. They overlapped everything in the world. If this was a good RM Pala, whatever that means, they would be... they would lose right here. Just Kidney into half Hodge with Vendetta. Yeah, how does he live? He ports, I guess. Half Hodge right there would have ended the game. It's really hard to tell what they have available because of the UI. I personally am not fond of the minimalist approach on the right, but maybe I would work on maybe getting Gladius probably and making those big DR trackers and trinket availability and all that shit, so you're not using this tiny one up in the corner. But maybe, again, this is a blurry screen, so it's possible that it's a little easier to see on your end. I won't tell you what add-ons to run. Though if it does start being an issue that you don't really know what they have available as much as you'd like, look into UI setups that might work for you. There's the double sweep again while he's ringed. They're playing on the back foot all game here, right? So that opener put them so far behind that now all their goes are lost. A good defensive play here, right? He ringed the mage down, sweeped them both, and got away, so he doesn't die, so they have another chance to win, which again, as Windwalker DK, is sometimes all you need. But again, against a better RM Pala, this would have been a lost cause ages ago. They just fell miles behind, and it's a miracle that this Rogue who trinketed Sap doesn't know how to kill a Mistweaver and a Kidney Vendetta. So he is just electing to sit on mage. Not sure if that's the play, but definitely just try and keep all three with a Frost Fever on them. You can see it's just the mage right here. It matters a lot to have your off targets Frost Fevered. The Windwalker, while he peels, does a lot of damage to the rogue, and it'll help you do swaps that put the H-Bow behind. H-Bow does not like healing split targets very well if he doesn't have wings up, because his heals are slow sometimes and can get kicked, especially by you, or parried, or gripped, or blinded. And it really sucks to have all that happen and then realize you have to get not one, but two of those big casts off, or because you're getting cleaved to death. So definitely, again, Frost Fever uptime is extremely important. It looks like we're lacking that a little bit right here. But I do like, and I like that. So I do like what I was about to say. I do like the defensive play. Again, giving yourself more chances to win instead of just giving up. Oh, we didn't get goes. We just lose. It's just over. Panicking, it sucks. But as long as you're trying hard and still staying alive and giving yourself a chance to win, you can come back at any time. To me, it looks like this game is a loss, especially since it's RM Pala. But again, give yourself as many opportunities to win. So this is their grip line go. Finally getting one of those off, though. I'm not sure he has sweep. Oh, it looks like Stun Ready is here, so that must have been the Mistweaver who sweeped before. This should be a good go. Let's see what happens. DB stops it, didn't get the sweep off. I'm not sure if he missed it or just didn't have it. So that is one of the reasons why you blind there, is to stop them from doing cross CC or DBing you off of him. Unfortunately, it looks like the Windwalker was either slow, didn't get the memo, or that Stun Ready was ages ago. We don't know. But either way, they missed that setup. So still falling behind. There's that rogue still sitting, chilling right here at half health, and the mage so low. Again, with cleave pressure, this would be very unhealable for an H-Pow without wings. So just keep that cleave pressure up with Frost Fever and Remorseless. And yeah, it's unfortunate that he doesn't have Frost Fever on him the whole game. There's that caught. He's holding it for so long. Now the H-Pow has to bubble because H-Pow doesn't know what the mage is doing. It looks like this rogue mage Pal are not in voice either. I'm expecting a blow. Oh my god, 9,228 health. Looks like both teams are having some sloppiness issues, and the rogue's still low. This is beautiful validation and testament to what I'm saying. Like I said, he would not have been able to heal. Once this mage blocked, if that Frost Fever had been on the rogue the whole time, they would be swapping to a 10% health rogue right now and probably finishing the job. So just remember to keep that up on. There it is. Right on time. So, yeah, they would be killing him right there. Especially with the kick on the H-Bow. Mindflay Tentacle doing a lot of cleave. Also with your proc corruptions and shit, as shady as it is. All these corruptions, the infinite stars, the Mind Flays, they proc damage and they can be ridiculous swap targets. The Mind Flays will just swap to whoever's in range. So if the mage blinks behind a pillar and the rogue is still low from your Frost Fever, all of a sudden you've got this amazing swap potential. So just more value to making sure that you have uptime on all of your cleave effects, especially Frost Fever. Mind Flight, man. It's ticking for 20k for no reason. Okay. There's the bubble and the zone. But this time it was on nothing. So yeah, just another panic play. It looked like the Mistweaver dropped dangerously low, and I guess they weren't in voice for him to say, yo, I'm going to bubble this. So he just zoned complete air, right? We're looking at these cooldowns. Vendetta in 16, Combust was not pressed. This mage, again, if this was an RM Pala with 2/3 of a brain, they would just kidney into Combust, into Half Hodge, and out of this zone. And the Mistweaver is more dead than anybody has ever been dead. So I'm predicting a loss, but maybe this RM Pala is just going to continue to suck. There's the woo baby. What just hit this guy? Touch of death, I guess. Should have bopped it. Yeah, their arm pal sucks. So it's just sloppiness left and right. This guy bops panicking after the touch of death goes off instead of bopping the touch of death. They just get globaled in that go for no reason. Again, it didn't look like the actual go was exactly what they needed because they're having to use a lot of CDs to peel, especially stuns. But again, just misplays on both sides, on both comps, are making this more interesting than it could have been. So let's see if they return here. Again, Frost Fever not on this guy. It ticks through Bop. If it was on him before, that go might have gotten caught. Except no, he already had caught, so it actually would have killed. Hopefully he gets that Rhyme proc off immediately. There it is. Yeah, I think that would have killed him too. A lot of missed opportunities to kill, but we'll see what happens. Now you don't have Zone and don't have Bubble, so I think it's time to spam. Right here, what I would do, I would never want to be in this situation. This is a situation that's very bad and hard to play from. But I think the idea is Chains Mage, AMS aggressively every time it's up, which he doesn't have now. Chains Rogue and sit Rogue and just grip blind to the Rogue and the Mage every time you can. And you just peel until any of you have a semblance of a cooldown now. You can't do like offensive goes here. Miss Reaper's going to die. So sitting on the Mage right here gives the Rogue free reign with the H-Pal who's coming in for damage as well. Oh, is that kill? Yeah, that's Kidney Combust. This is everything. Miss Reaper's going to die here. Yeah, all right. So yeah, just that recognition when you didn't have the kill, or recognition rather, when you didn't have the kill in the Bop, it was the time to immediately swap to the Rogue. So this game has a lot of time left. Do they stall this out? Oh, you guys being assholes. I mean, it's Windwalker DK. They're very tanky. I guess I will let it play. I'm assuming this is a loss still, but it would be. I guess they'll do the. I guess this is the thing I always do. Say, how'd you die, dude? These guys do no damage, and I tank them for 40 minutes with my 48% burst. What the fuck is that? Is that the proc? I don't even have the proc yet. Yeah, that must be the proc. I don't even have it yet. Trying to edge his bets in this ring. There's the full poly. They're peeling him pretty well. I don't know what the Windwalker has, but if he has the Fort, Stam Trinket, Karma combo, they don't have a Bop. So maybe that's what I'm looking at. Do they win? Oh, the fucking Windwalker solos him. Didn't he have block? When did he block? Oh, no, he caught blocked earlier. Oh, good job. And the grip go. They missed a chill streak there. They're just panicking. At this point, it's hard to critique, right? Obviously, that was a meaningless chill streak because there's no way he's going to stand in it. And that could actually be a crazy win condition for you right now. But it's hard to critique this because they're trying to come back from a 2v3. The adrenaline starts going. They're like, oh my god, we can win this. Just hit the Rogue, hit the Rogue, hit the Rogue. At least that's what I'd be saying. Or thinking because they're not in voice. So, yeah, let's see how they play it. H-Pal is completely Must have recognized that. Good stuff. This Wings, he can heal with 0 mana and Wings, though, and the Windwalker is taking a lot of damage. You got to keep Chains on this guy and peel for your friend. I don't see Sprint or Cloak active. So, yeah, Chains should be on this guy at all times. Peel for your friend here to win this 2v2. There's the blind. Maybe could have gotten both. That's what I guess I would have saved grip for. Now the Chains are coming out, but he has freedom for it. I guess you grip back here. Yep, good call. Chains right as soon as freedom runs down. He could have gripped a little farther. Chains, ooh, he has to be ready for that. Now the sprint comes down. Chains right after that again, or that's Cloak actually. Sprint, one of the two. He's just decimating this guy. Yeah, because the H-Ball has no CDs, no mana, and his Parrot. I think they win. Oh, how cool would that be, huh? That's it. That's the dub. Good comeback. See, there's a lesson and always play it to the end, right? I mean, it looks like they recognized that the H-Pal had nothing. They just had to live through that Wings and it was a guaranteed W. Let's skip around. I don't know if these are in any specific order. Mukambala seems fun. I have no idea. I can't tell if they're in any specific order. So presser points from that game. Obviously, awesome job staying with it and winning a 2v3. That always feels fucking awesome. Good job to that. That made me smile. Right? But just watch the zone management and Heartstop Delirium against mages for sure, man. Frost Fever and Chains Uptime could be better. But I love the comeback play at the end. Goes are looking good. The grip, blind, chill streak, even though we're missing some of them, they have a lot of disruption for it too. Freedom and trinkets and bops and blocks. So we're getting out pressure, especially in the first game. The second game was much more sloppy, and his Mistweaver paid for it in his life. The first game, the goes were really good, and the finishing go that ended that first game with a W, that was sick. That was very good. So some great stuff. Some presser points. I like what I see so far. This This has been really good. This has been a good series. Thank you for putting this together. So now they're playing against Jungle. Lichborn here for sure. It looks like he is still running that. You should be using it as aggressively as humanly possible. So Jungle wins or dies in the opener. Even as Windwalker DK, I spent a lot of time queuing into Dilly and Jay on their jungle. And they do a lot of damage. And Jay is better than all of us. He's a fucking insane disc priest. But we can beat him as Windwalker DK, as Frost Windwalker DK, if we just stay really, really hyper aggressive. We can the priest, we get a lot of pressure out, Chill Streak goes are insane. You want to kill the hunter pet. Honestly, Heartstop, Delirium, Lichborn is a really good setup for this. You can run Conflict and Strife to get that play. You can also swap out the Delirium for Transfusion. I don't know if that's quite as good after the nerfs. Some people were making the comment that Transfusion is a must now, but the value of Transfusion depends on how good Deathstrike is. So if Deathstrike is less good, that doesn't make Transfusion more good just because you feel like you need to heal more. The overall value of the PvP talent still went down. But again, that's probably a good play to this. It helps you stay very aggressive. Again, this is a race. I'm not saying it's a healer race, it's just a race to see who can get out the most pressure and the most CC first. Your CC comes in the form of Grip, Blind, Chill Streak, Sweep. And theirs is, Trap, baby. Stun Trap. Fear, Mind Control. So you really can't let them do whatever, which means you have to snowball pressure. I would sit on the Hunter for the most part. You can Chill Streak him and his pet. Once his pet dies, you have a kick rotation that you should do and a stop rotation. He loses his Mortal Strike. He loses a huge source of healing from his Mastery. He loses utility from Roar of Sacrifice. He loses damage from all of the survival pet interactions. I mean, he can't have his pet dead. So if you cleave him like crazy, good grip sweeps, and then just Chill Streak him and his pet, even if the other two get away, it puts them on the back foot. So this is one where I would Lichborn first stun and get in and play aggressive, or you're probably going to fall behind. It's a short game, so hopefully they kill him real fast. That's what I would do. Maybe he's going to follow my advice retroactively. So Lichborn this is probably what I'd do. Yeah, so that's... okay. I gotta say, I promise I did not expect that level of... So that's his health bar, right? He's below half from a rake stun. That is how this comp plays. All three of them can do damage. All three of them can run Concentrated Flame. They have bleeds that ignore armor. They have spells that ignore armor. They have magical damage. They have physical damage that ignores AMS. They have such a high source of damage that you just have to get your flat damage reduction out right off the bat. Get out of that stun and start immediately putting counter pressure on the Hunter. Or you lose half your health bar in 3 seconds. Oh boy, floundering a little bit here. So right here you need chains on the Hunter, chains on the Feral. Get this Rhyme proc out of here. You need to have dots on both and you need to be setting up a go. This seems really sloppy. They're going to get punished for this very hard. I don't even know. Where's the Windwalker? It's very hard. His UI, I can't see his... There's his Mistweaver who's in a trap, so that's very unfortunate. The Windwalker's somewhere. The Windwalker was running after the priest in Africa, or maybe got mind controlled? I don't know, but this is the sloppiest opener in the history of mankind. So there's the bubble right in the beginning, so they lose. Still hasn't burned that Rhyme proc. Getting a grip blind on nothing. Yeah, okay, so sat up on my chair on this because I'm getting tilted. Right, so not really. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm not tilted. This is the learning experience right here. This is the perfect opportunity. So, did the druid fall through the floor? Not important. So this is the problem with not having all of those things I said going down. One, you didn't stop pressure in the beginning with Lichborn, so you're falling so far behind. Two, you're not keeping chains on the melee, so they just walk out of your goes. Three, you didn't burn this Rhyme proc, so neither of them are taking any damage this entire opener. And they're just running around in circles, kiting you and bleeding you up and staying out of your range because neither are slowed. Again, I don't know what your Windwalker is doing, but he can help with that as well. But obviously, very sad. I'm sure it was not your intention to blind Just Priest. I'm not saying that, but those things would have enabled you to get this go off. And now that you've missed it, you have no bubble, no AMS, and no Lichborn. Oh, that wasn't Lichborn. You're running IBF, you just have a show tooltip for Lichborn. Okay. So I don't know if he's had it in any of these games. I haven't really been paying that much attention. I've never seen somebody use a show tooltip from an ability they're not using. But use Lichborn against this for sure. And against the Rogue Mages. Heartstop, Delirium, Lichborn, Chill Streak with Conflict. If you really like the Blood of the Enemy and you have the Mastery to support it, Heartstop, Delirium, Chill Streak, Blood of the Enemy is fine. Just be cognizant that you're a little squishier now. Again, totally fine. If you have the Mastery to support the Blood of the Enemy spec, it one-shots like it did for you every time. But so, yeah, this isn't Lichborn, so he's way far behind. The opener was thrown and he's dead. There's no way he comes back from this. Unfortunately, he gets his entire go-off on the Priest, which is the last target you want here. Again, I know this wasn't intentional, but this damage done to the Priest isn't going to do anything. All three of them, this guy's about to run out of Frost Fever. They kill Pet, doesn't look like they're going to kick it. This would be a huge swap opportunity if he grips, or rather, if the Hunter, or the Windwalker paras the Hunter, then they kick again, and they get Frost Fever on all three, which is not happening right now. I don't think that's going to happen. He gets his Pet back up, yeah. Whew. Now they're sitting Priest. Because he put Touch of Death on him, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this game's over. I'm certain that they lose. Even though you got him low, he's still not the target. You have to swap off. You have to recognize that you have no IBF, no AMS, and you're not going to kill a Priest through Paints Up, Barrier, Rapture, and Rogue or a Hunter Feral Peels while you have nothing alive before they kill you first. Yeah, so he's swapping back over now to the Feral, which is not the target. Definitely go Hunter here. Missed the Frost Fever application on the Feral again. He trinkets this. They're going Disc. Yes. Does not work. Paras for no reason. Takes off the Frost Fever that he spent the entire game trying to apply. Not reapplying it. Sorry, man. Sloppy game, buddy. This is over. Now he's trying to kite, but nothing has damage on it, so they can just play super aggressive. His healer's in a trap. Yeah. So, Jungle exposes a lot of people from time to time. It is a fast-paced comp that requires perfect defensive cooldown management, perfect uptime usage of your uptime enabling abilities, chains, Death's Advance, goes, grip sweep, grip blind sweep, chill streak to keep them slowed in that, reapplying chains on shifting feral, reapplying chains when the Master's Call goes down, keeping pressure on everybody, 100% Frost Fever uptime. Good, like I said, rotation and aggressiveness of IBF, which should be Lichborn, and AMS, Death Strike usage, keeping things off you, making them run from you. It's just, it's a fast-paced game. It reminds me of the Legion matchup against this comp. It's just nothing like the rest. It's really interesting, right? Again, this is the perfect content. This is a good learning experience. But this is the get exposed comp matchup because we're so used to playing dampening comps against even R Impala, the MLD, the Spell Cleaves. At higher MMR, once you've got synergy with your teammates, games go to dampening way more often, even if you're playing Windwalker DK and not a tank comp. But when I played Windwalker DK, they still go to dampen, especially against Spell Cleaves, especially against MLD or Esprit's Lock. It's just very slow. Against mirror melees like DH, DK can dampen pretty hard. I'm not sure how that's going to play out this season, especially with all the survivability nerfs, but all of a sudden you'll queue into jungle and it'll flip all of that on its heels. It will take that entire meta you've been used to the entire expansion, and it'll just be like, nope, we're playing Legion again. Everybody dies insanely quickly. Your openers have to be perfect. Your goes have to be perfect. Everything is terrifying. And I'm not talking about the R Impala that gives your healer in the opener, because that game with proper CD management should be slower. But jungle's not slower. Jungle is going to be that fast even if you're playing well. It's just a constant pressure race who can snowball first, and you guys got mode. I should play to the end, right? In case of the 2v3? I don't think this one's coming. So we'll keep going. Just skip around here. I guess I'm skipping back to... I don't think they're in order. I don't know. Mm. And speaking of which, Destro, Espriest, H-Spell. Spell cleave with an H-Spell. Good stuff. Again, I feel like it... Like I need to reset the quality. It doesn't feel like it's... Okay, guess it is. Sorry if the quality is a little rough, but... You know. Doing the best we can. Alright, so Grip goes... He wants to AMZ Dark Soul. That's a very good play. Grip goes here a little tougher because of all their outs. Esprit says fade for every single one. So it's definitely good to Grip sweep on the H-Pal, which is what he's doing. So I really like their strat call. I like when he wants to AMZ. Oh, they're playing with an Arduin now. Yeah, so these are totally out of order. They're not in any order at all. So, guess we have a doorbell ringing in the middle of this one. So we got a Grip blind sweep on him, the H-Pal, and the Warlock Pet, and an Infernal. So a very good opener for them in the beginning. But again, I like the strat call. I like the situational plays that it looks like they're going to try and do. And wow, what an opener! Good stuff. So this must be post Demon Armor nerf, so they can take a lot more damage. There's a para on the H-Pal to keep them low in that bop. They're already getting CCs out. Killed a pet. Sick. That is actually awesome. Now they are going to sit on the lock and disrupt everything he can do. Again, probably keeping chains on this guy just so he doesn't move at all is valuable for the rune press. It's not nearly as essential in the other comps, but this is looking a lot better. Rotation looked great. The go is great. The strategy is great. And I like what I see. Just probably try and stop everything that you can. The kick management's important here, which is really hard in no voice. But, you know, watch for if he has a juke setup. If he doesn't, that was the zone on Dark Soul very late, unfortunately. But their go was so good, it didn't matter. So it's possible that he didn't even recognize zone was up because of how little damage anybody on that team was doing. So it's good to get it down here. Although you ran immediately out of it. You can actually grip Warlock back into places that you want him to be in between goes, right? Because you have a go every 45 seconds or so. So you can actually grip in between goes, which he totally should have done here. If he had it up. Yep, he did. So yeah, just gripping back into the AMC is just a nice play, and it also stops a cast. But he's going to do another setup in about 15 seconds here, which is looking great. Again, slowing the Warlock is pretty preferred. Now he's going to get coiled. A little bit of counter pressure here. Wow, he's running away. Not sure what happened there. I don't know what he was trying to stop. But this should be a good time for a go. There's a grip, blind. No sweep. Where the fuck is the Windwalker? I guess Windwalker ported out. I'm not sure if he had Karma available. Again, this UI is messing with my diagnosis of some things in this setup. But there's a sweep. Gets it anyway. And, you know, double tentacle proc, so they get pressure for free. Who cares, right? I kick Cataclysm for sure there. Since this matchup is so stationary and there's not a lot of movement or positioning aspects of it, I'll definitely make some minor notes on like kicks that you can use. He didn't have his up there, unfortunate. It's going to be difficult with the Windwalker synergy probably not being there, but useful spells to kick are just Kata and Chaos Bolt as this comp. If you stop both, he will have a hard time generating shards, a hard time applying pressure in between goes, and a hard time getting anything going on your healer, because every time you kick him on Bolt, he can't fear. And it doesn't look like he's been fearing to set up very well. But yeah, he didn't have kick up for that one. There's the fear. Nobody stops the bolt. Unfortunate. Windwalker wasn't there. Gets juked on that bolt. So there's the pattern you'll want to watch. Again, I would never give the advice, don't get juked, because that's an obvious one. That is part of the game. That dynamic is part of the game. But now just watch for what he tends to do. Like if he doesn't have your kicks, you haven't kicked in a while, he's just going to juke the first bolt at that amount of time. Just get a feel for him. There's Karma going out on no CDs from them. I'm not sure if it was required, but he does get bop out of it. Again, probably pointless because the Windwalker can just port here or stay defensive. Oh my god, you're going to die? Doesn't have AMS available. Looks like he should be able to stabilize. You have to switch right back to the lock. Second that bop drops down. I know like you've gotten some damage out on the H-Pal, but just be ready to swap back. He got dangerously low. Great heals from the Argent, though. Zone up in 36. So he's going to do this grip sweep blind go here, and it looks like he's going to get it off this time because everything seems to be in order. Both players have their trinket, though, from this tiny, blurry interface at the top. But he's calling it out, and this should be the go. Again, always keep the chains on the Warlock, especially before go. Just helps get as much pressure on him in the windows before goes. Sometimes they can actually free run to their gateway and take it. If they see, like against better players, they'll manage your cooldowns like you want to manage theirs. And he'll just run over to the gateway and take it. Because even if he doesn't like stop the go, it's like you don't... If he gateways right as you blind, then holy shit, you're sad. But even if he doesn't, it just slows your go and gives them a chance for these important cooldowns to come back up. So sometimes he will do that. You don't want to give him free reign to just walk his character around. Chains uptime could be better. There's the blood of the enemy go. Good ring, trying to get him back into that go. I'm not exactly sure how neither of these guys took any damage. I think the pet soaked a couple of the bounces and is now going to die, which is probably good. There's a Mind Flay proc. There's the sweep. Okay, here's the pressure. So it's just a little delayed. There's the gateway. So I would, again, swap back right back to the lock here. Not going to chase that guy around. It seems juicy. He's pretty low, but just use that as an opportunity to get huge pressure on the Warlock, and the H-Pal will have to heal himself. Again, this is a good recognition of how valuable it is to keep dots on everything. I even throw a dot on the S-Priest every once in a while in case it stacks up in dampening, but that's in dampening, which we are looking like we might get to in this game, actually. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Hopefully got a kick on that Chaos Bolt. Doesn't like using Rhyme procs right when they go. I am a huge advocate of pressing that button the second I see it. Glowy things. Trying to kick the Mind Control maybe. He ran over to the Priest. Mana values are looking pretty even, but your Arduid is lower. Blurry, but lower. So you'll need to get a go off ASAP as soon as it comes up to keep snowballing that pressure and put you guys ahead. But again, rotation has been good. Grip goes I've liked. Zone on cooldowns should be up now, so he's going to have zone for that Dark Soul again. And just rotation has been clean. This looks winnable to me. And again, make some predictions randomly as games go. This looks winnable. And there it is. Again, I like the aggressiveness with that. They haven't been holding it. They haven't been putting themselves behind for no reason by just forgetting about it or panicking or not knowing the exact perfect time. Once that blind is up, they're trying to get the go. They're trying to do what they can to win the game. This is the kind of snowbally mentality that once they clean up some of the mistakes, they'll find the niche of Windwalker DK. I use the word snowball probably too much, but it's just such a valuable word for what these DK comps tend to do. Right? You have cooldowns that can be used in two ways, defensively and offensively. So if you have pressure, you can now turn those cooldowns, those AMS and those IBF and that trinket, into offensive cooldowns, which allows you to continue getting pressure. For certain specs, they don't have their... Shaman Wall can't be used aggressively very well. I mean, you can wall high to keep staying and chasing and doing damage, but it's not like Shaman Wall gets them out of polymorph. DK is one of the lone classes with that capability, and it makes for the snowball gameplay. Also a good frost pun. So once you start getting that routine and that synergy down, you ease up on the mistakes a little bit, and you find these opportunities for goes, which he's doing now, getting the Chill Streak goes, getting them on cooldown. You have a great way of now using those potential cooldowns aggressively and keeping the pressure up and finding kill conditions. So that is why it is good to see how prompt they are with their go management, even not being in voice. Getting trinkets here, I can see that, and that's what you want. And against Lock, the Chill Streak continues bouncing between the pet, which you can now kill. Just all around good stuff. Great job killing Mind Flays too. I don't think I've been paying much attention to that, but great job killing Mind Flays and keeping the pressure off your team. I like that. That is a heads up play. Mind Flays, Psi-Fiends, Banners, Totems. If you've got awareness for that sort of thing, huge props to you. That's something plenty of players struggle with. I've struggled with, especially early in the expansion when there's so much new random junk added to each patch or each expansion. It is so weird to have all these random things that you now have to be like, well, I gotta kill this, oop, kill the tentacle, kill the totem, kill the... Yeah, so you're just... If you have awareness for that sort of thing, I like that play. So good. How funny one Howling Blast on a tentacle can get so much praise, but I like the play. So that was sack. Looks like a little bit of swap here. Or is that really just damage? Either sack or great cleave pressure or the Windwalker or some combination of all three. Got the HPAL pretty low, so looks like he had to use that Divine Fave to top everybody. And now in the next go with no trinkets from either of them, that's looking pretty scary. Our Druid's burning a little bit of mana and his own health. Again, this is a Roddy comp. You've got the Lock instance and the Esprit's Cleave with Mind Control, which he's doing right now. So they want to keep that pressure up so they don't fall to the potential win condition of the other team, which is rotting everybody until the Archerd goes zoom and then finding a kill. There's that Mind Flay up. They're not doing as good a job killing it as he did. He got a few ticks there. And here's his go. It looks like he's going to try and get that right now. Awesome. Perfect. So that was a good opportunity there, and this is so good. This is showcasing the value of blind as both picking the talent and why you should pick it over as fix if you want to do this type of setup, and how well he's using it. This Windwalker is in a mind control right now. That's not going to stop their go at all. You'd think sometimes because of the consistency in which the sweep just comes over the blind, it's like, well, what are you actually doing with that blind? You're just keeping them free for 1 second. Why don't you just sweep a little sooner? But there's so many things that can happen in between grip and when you want to actually do your go, that the blind bridges the gap between that. So right here, this is a perfect example. He gets mind controlled. The blind bridges the gap. Now he's going to come out of this, preferably sweep, I'm assuming, and they're going to get their full go anyway. Plenty of other things do this. Shaman Knock, if nothing else is on them, you can get all the way back to the Shaman and the target that you blinded in the duration of the blind, and you can get the sweep anyway. And so many other. A Poly that comes out right on the Windwalker. Deep stops the DBs. It's just a very good tool. And he comes out of that, probably gets the sweep. Am I blind? Where did this Windwalker go? There's the bubble. I'm not sure if he ported or got ran all the way in the mind control. On my screen, it looked like he was just about out of it. Everybody saw that, right? It looked like the timer had gone all the way to the end, and the mind control was just about to end, like it was fully DR'd or something. But a little bit of blurriness, and I don't like how he doesn't play with friendly nameplates. I don't know how he sees his teammates ever, besides the markers. Like, where are you? There he is. You can't really see what they're doing or what they're in very well. Anyway, I'm not sure what stopped that sweep. They sat in the full duration of blind and were sitting there for a long time. So something stopped the sweep. It's unfortunate because they had that one for sure. But got to keep playing. AMS up in 10 seconds. Should be able to play very aggressive here. There's that double stam from the Windwalker popping up to 710k health. Looks like they're doing a go here, despite not getting the go they wanted. And there's that touch of death. He sweeps on it too. That's a bad play from the Windwalker. Why sweep one target? You could just be patient. Look, he's got grip blind up in 7. Windwalker, the synergy with the Windwalker, maybe just the Windwalker's play has not been perfect here. If he's your friend, sorry. But definitely a lot of panic-induced errors that make no sense to me. The grip blind's ready, but there's nothing to do with it. Sweep's not up, and blinding both isn't going to give you a kill streak. Looks like he goes for the bash on it, grips it. That was great. I'm not entirely convinced that was intentional, but heck, that was a good play. Ends up getting the grip chill streak anyway, despite me saying it's not a good time for it, because He gets the blind on the lock and the H-Pal, but the H-Pal is actually bashed, which means the lock blind stops him from moving out of the chill streak. He gets the first 2 bounces, and now the lock is 70% slowed because chill streak also has a slow component. So the fact that he grips the H-Pal who is bashed means that the blind can break on the lock, but the damage is already done to the lock, and the blind can break on the H-Pal, but the H-Pal is bashed, which means the whole goes off anyway. Not entirely convinced it was intentional because it was literally on like the first frame of the bash. I'm not sure if he and just the Arduid are in voice, but man, that was a good play. That was a good play. That saved them because look at all the counter pressure they're getting. Thank God. So there's this swap. They're getting cooldowns left and right. That is bop and swap. And the H-Pal is still dying, and the H-Pal is going now. So that go is, and now they're winning the mana race. So that go is a requirement to put this game away, and they did just that. He has the zone. Unfortunate placement. So okay, really good presser point here. Just walk back. You should be swapping to the lock anyway. Again, H-Pal's really never the target against Destro S-Priest, unless he's literally 100% dead and your Windwalker has everything. You're just like, global this guy, that's fine. But you should do it in a stun, not just chasing him around because of his little pony. But you were going to swap to the Warlock anyway. That's definitely the play. You can press chains on him, get right on top of him, and then zone. Now you're either going to blow grip for no reason because you could already been on him, or you're just going to stand in a zone and stare at this guy. So you're going to stand in the zone and stare at this guy. All right. And not what you want. Now you're back over to the H-Pal, who's No reason to go him. It could work because he's but you're just giving them a chance to win. Oh, they're getting a huge connection on this Windwalker. Go lock, man. Go lock. There's literally no way you lose here. You can't kill an H-Pal in wings. He jukes. Oh, God. Okay. I don't like this play. Yeah, so I don't need to explain it. I've spent the entire game explaining it, but H-Pal's not the kill target here. Ooming him is phenomenal. He's got one more setup of wings here. You almost, like, again, against better teams, you can't get punished for that. They had this crazy free setup on the Windwalker. Had they both had anything rolling or maybe an Infernal proc, the Windwalker probably could just randomly get gibbed in that. You've got dampening going here, which stops his self-healing and really hurts our Druid Hots. You've got your win condition here. Play with your win condition. You've oomed the H-Pal. Damn, another go lost. You've oomed the H-Pal. You've got his CDs. You've got their trinkets. For the most part, bash on the lock makes no sense. Panic, panic, panic. We have no grip for the blind now. I still think they're going to win this game. They have their win condition here, but they're trying to throw it away. MC full. Looks like nobody has a stop for that. This is panic on both teams. H-Pal's got no mana, though. He should never be able to heal against Windwalker DK with no mana. There's the grip blind. Please get a go here. That should do it. Blood of the enemy. Gets out of the Hodge. Great. That was good. That was perfect. It was a big clusterfuck at the end. They almost gave their opponent a chance to win, but then they followed it up again, just like against the RMP, with a phenomenal access to win condition. Perfect grip blind go. Got the chill streak. Blood of the enemy at the perfect time. Looks like he got insta-dispelled, or did he trinket? If it was a trinket, very smart trinket of the Hodge. If it was instant dispel, great job for the Archrid. Wish there was a little bit less blurriness so I could be certain. There's a trinket in here somewhere. Play some more of the game, I guess. I would assume that was a trinket. But if that was a dispel, great dispel from the Archer who's on top of that. So yeah, obviously a sloppy game. It's hard. H-Pal Spellcleaves are hard. They have a lot of stops for what you want to do. But, ooh, nice. Congrats. Oh, yeah, MMR loss here. So yeah, it looks like we're messing around with some different queue sessions. But, you know, just get gameplay. That's all we need. Let me check the time on this. All right, so probably last one. I never called LG. You always have to call LG. So, LG. All right, so he wants to do a grip go on the Mistweaver. Heartstop Delirium is good situational play here. Lich Point is also a good pick. No longer need zone, obviously. Definitely a lot of options you can do here. By gripping Mistweaver to Windwalker with Heartstop Delirium on both. This is a good presser point if he is running Delirium. Let me first check to see if he's running it. Nice go, nice go. Oh, and the Ursul's on that. Perfect go setup. So he is running Delirium. Great. So first off, another great go. They've been doing the setup consistently every time. So as much as I harp about some of the uptime or cooldown misplays, there is equally as much focus on how well these setups have been going. They're not missing them frequently enough for that to be a problem, because people counter goes, by the way. Like, the other team is also trying to stop you from doing this. It's not... Sometimes you get yourself in a situation where there's nothing they can do, and now we've seen 2 different games where they've perfectly capitalized on that situation, right? When there is a situation the enemy is in where they have no trinkets and no cooldowns, and you do your go, you're realizing your win condition, and that is what you do while you're playing the game. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So, good stuff. Once again, another showcase of making sure to get the goes early and quick. That is the word that means the same thing. But anyway, get it out before they pop all their CDs, and it looked like they did, so then they had to blur and dark and other host of things. But now for my point on Delirium, Howling Blast all the time to reset that on the Windwalker anytime he gets away, and also Howling Blast the Monk. If you're ever doing swaps to the Mistweaver Monk, or the Mistweaver Monk, it's really good for him to have rolled at some point out of your grip sweeps, and for him to not have one for a while. It makes him a really good swap target. So let's hope his uptime on that is good. Again, you want 2 stacks all the time, so you just Howling Blast for free for it. We should be, like, every global that hasn't been Howling Blast right now is wrong. Every time you have a Rhyme proc when you're running Delirium, it is the first global you press. And so every global that he pressed that wasn't Rhyme proc, getting that 2 stack and resetting the Delirium, was not a good global. And he's still not pressing it. So now the Delirium falls off the Windwalker, which actually gives him his cooldown recovery back. So yeah, that is another showcase of what I'm talking about. So keep those up. He should be Howling Blasting in the disarm. I'm going to make pressure points on this the whole time, because Frost DK rotation doesn't have a lot going on. Nobody sits here and says, oh, you pressed Obliterate and then you press Frost Strike. Wow, you're a good player. Can you make me a guide on that? But so anytime there is a rotational change that happens as a result of a situational play, I will want to talk about it, because that's all that's really going on for Frost. Again, Obliterate and then pressing Frost Strike and then pressing Obliterate again, not that complex. So right here, that entire disarm should have been a Howling Blast press on both of the monks, and getting the 2 stack and resetting that. There's no other buttons you can press, so why not do that? So just rotational importance there. Sitting the sweep here, not running Lichborn. That is, he IBF'd, but he IBF'd late. So a little bit more urgency on that. It's really good to have that in the back of your mind. Like, am I going to trinket the next stun? Like, next stun I trinket this, or next stun I IBF this. So you can do it at the beginning, because you take, not only do you tit the stun for longer, so you're stunned for longer, you also take 30% more damage the entire time when you could have been taking 30% less. So, you know, this Howling Blast thing is going to drive me nuts. Yeah, so the uptime on that has to be permanent. Delirium is terrible when it's not used correctly. It is a terrible talent. It does nothing passively. And if it doesn't have 100% uptime, it's weak as fuck. You're just slowing their cooldowns by a tiny bit. The power of Heartstop Delirium comes when you're sitting on them permanently with Heartstop because of Delirium. Delirium's 100% uptime with 2 stack allows them to never get away from your Heartstop, which means both of those things in tandem means they never get away ever, which means you continue to snowball that pressure and also keep Heartstop on longer. You see what I'm getting here? It compounds. It's dominoes. There's another word that's not the word snowball that I've said 685,000 times. It's a domino effect of just one thing leads to another. The uptime has to be 100%. There's no reason not to. These guys aren't dispelling much. Some of these are just falling off. Actually, I'm not sure if I've seen any dispels, but I'll keep huge note of that from now on to see if he is getting dispelled. Like, both of these guys have a disease dispel, and I would still just be spamming Howling Blast to keep it up all game. If they haven't been using that, then there is no reason this should fall off. I will watch it this time for sure. Yeah, just press the button. Frost Fever and Howling Blast, man. And Delirium. Need to be on this guy 100% of the time. DH, it's good against DH too. It's so good against this comp. It needs, I would be pressing it here, there, or here, there, and here. Everywhere you see it. But here's a go. Watch him just win anyway. Hey, I mean, that's what, ooh! So, bad clone there. Might have stopped a chill streak. You never want to clone on goes. Why'd you clone on goes? Your Windwalker DK, you cleave everything. Nothing he could do about that, though. Really important presser point here. Frost Fever on this guy with 100% uptime would have made that potentially a kill because he would have been lower going into it and it would have ticked through the whole go with the blood of the enemy. I think you could have found a way to do the 50,000 damage or whatever he's working with, 60,000 damage. If he was 30,000 health lower and he was taking Frost Fever ticks throughout that whole go, I think he would have been dead right there. So that it shows that importance. That said, goes are looking incredible. I mean, once again, you completely flip the switch. Look at this. Full health, full health, full health. Almost dead. No CDs. No trinket. So you're completely flipping the switch. That clone was so bad. You're completely flipping the switch with these counter pressure goes. Again, getting the grip, blind, triple sweep go has been a staple of what I've seen go right in this gameplay. And it is going right time and time again. You have consistency with it, which is a great thing. I think this game's going to be over in your favor this time because of how much pressure was swinged, even though I don't like the uptime problems here. There's a clone on the bubble. There's a good clone. Getting Howling Blast on him. You wasted a Rhyme proc. The importance of this spell is lost on you. Alright, so here we go. This game would have been long over, by the way, with proper Delirium and Frost Fever uptime. But they win anyway. This guy's dead, isn't he? Full clone of the Mistweaver. Doesn't matter. Getting snowballed pressure off of that go. I'm expecting this team to be a little lower, maybe like 18 something. Yeah, okay. So the DH Windwalker played that pretty bad. That go just ended the game when it shouldn't have. I mean, it was a great go, but they still had the ability to kite and stabilize. And the uptime things gave them their mobility cooldowns up more often than they should be. And they should have been able to spam disease to spell behind a pillar and top themselves. But you capitalized on the situation they gave you, and that was great. Again, I think we said the entire thing, and I guess that was the LG, so we'll come to a close here. Some defensive management issues, some uptime issues on important debuffs, rotational issues sometimes with your Rhyme proc management, which is weird, but okay. That said, it's weird to me not because it's like, oh, you're supposed to do everything right. It's weird to me because your goes and the more complex stuff are so good. Your understanding of some of these matchups are so good that it's weird for that to be an issue. But hey, anywhere I can give help. If you clean up the easy part and you've already got the hard part good, then that's going to be like awesome for you. So I like what I see in the more complex stuff. So hopefully you can go back again. It's kind of hard to wrap it up into one tight little bow, but some of the defensive management, certainly faster zones would be huge. A little bit of the target calling, essentially, like when the rogue didn't have trinket, you could sit on the whole game. I don't think your Mistweaver would have died. But that's even a non-issue, because most of the time you were going to the target I would have picked, right? Mage, Lock, Windwalker. The jungle was a mess, but we had plenty to say about that one. So rewatch some of that game for sure. That one's an important one. And some of the openers on these RM Palas and get a feel for how your complex stuff and your grip goes and your CD management offensively was really good. But just look at the defensives and the uptime. And there you go. So episode 2 complete. Sorry for the doorbell. And I hope that helps, man. GG's.